My father used to say, "Watch this man."
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. It's only too bad Valiant beat him to Gutfeld.
Disney insider WDW Pro recently speculated on.
Time and time again, he's broken big entertainment news live on the air.
I've been following WDW Pro and his track record for years. If you want to find out what's on the horizon for theme parks, Pro is where you go.
There he goes again. Honey Badger gonna do what Honey Badger gonna do. Scooping and scooping and scooping.
Morty, let's check in on Rian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay. I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a definitely remark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Blather, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird. Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
Alright everyone, put on your coffee glasses.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
We're gonna do it!
Leroy Dragon! All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom!
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies in the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the show that explains entertainment and gives journalists the next day's headlines. It's the Pro Show Live!
All right, folks, welcome aboard. Happy to have everybody out there joining us for a very special edition of the Pro Show, a 60,000 subscribers celebration, and already we have hit 61,000 subscribers since we scheduled this. Who knows, 70 may be just around the corner. We had a fantabulous pre-show Pro Show that was for members, and so happy to have all of you, and happy to be back here in this cozy spot that is a Thursday at 5 p.m. I know many of you enjoyed this time slot, and as it has turned out, well, we're here just half the time. There's been so much breaking from Disney that we've actually been here Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, I think about half the time now, about every other week, either celebrating or covering breaking news that was so big we could not go without. And so you guys have been getting, I guess, almost 2 pro shows a week, quite the thing, and we're happy to do it when it comes up. We also are happy to bring on a panel of pure, unadulterated, unfiltered excellence for you to enjoy, and I want to welcome to the stage first Mr. Ron Bradley. Ron, welcome. You're quite the guy with a channel that's doing a fantastic job of covering the parks. How are you today?
Unmute my microphone.
That's right. Unmutification engaged. Boomer mode not. He's ready to roll now. But Ron, welcome aboard, sir.
I'm here. I'm on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Ron. You sound A-okay to me.
The old Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. I talked with Tommy last night. You probably know about that, and had a fantastic time with that. So we're ready to roll.
Fantastic. I also want to welcome a fan favorite to the show once more. Mr. LW Ghost joins us. Sir, welcome back.
Thank you so much. But you know, when you say this is unadulterated, when you're my age, boy, are you adulterated.
Well, we're going to get into some of that adulting because that's what they want to do with some of the characters for the X-Men 97 show. And so that's going to be interesting for sure. Folks, I know that on many channels out there, they've been talking about X-Men 97. There's some new stuff that's just breaking. We previewed it in the member side of this, and I hate to make all of you out there angry, but I don't see any way around it. When we get to the news of what's happening with X-Men, you're not going to be pleased, is my belief. Also, from Midnight's Edge, where we and so many other channels, we sit upon the shoulders of pioneers who blazed the way first. Tom Connors, welcome back, sir. Tom is attempting to find the I like turtles button. I knew it! I called it! Oh, Tom, you and your turtle trigger finger, I tell you.
I know.
We also want to welcome
and congratulations,
Culture Casino.
By the way.
Well, thank you so much, sir. We also want to welcome Culture Casino to the show. Culture, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm glad to be here also. It's good to see you.
Yes, and look at that. Two radiant men on the right side, a very dapper-looking fellow on the left. And I suppose, guys, we need to get to Super Chats because they are aplenty. But before we do, a little fun with 60K.
Oh my goodness. Stop all the presses. We have some news for all the masses. Tell them to comment. They have been summoned. Cause Pro has now hit a huge 60,000. You get a high five cause you hit subscribe. Holy crap, more memberships from Is This Live. I am so glad that I'm an affiliate.
Ugh, you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, Jonas sucks. And easy to humiliate. But now it is time. Please lean in. Do incline. His name is WDW Pro. And out of 10, he's a 9. Mainly because he failed something on his audit. Here he is.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh, Who is the man who has t-shirt disease? Arrogant, compromised all morality. If pimples and showers are something you miss, fire a policeman to keep your office. Cringe Mob Wolf Pants. Cringe Mob Wolf Pants. Cringe Mob Wolf Pants. Cringe Mob Wolf Pants. Cringe Mob Wolf Pants.
You know, it just stinks for SpongeBob that they used a public domain tune, a little ditty for their theme song. It just lets us do all kinds of fun things. And thank you to Floral from Under Rock for making that happen. And let's get to the cringe, I guess, because there's plenty of cringe, and we can't just sit here and talk about 60K. We need to talk about what's going on with the X-Men situation. Before we get into this, folks, we're going to watch the trailer in just a moment. And it did not harm us on the other live stream. We'll see if our luck remains for this one. Then we're going to get to the really, really bad news. But before we do all that, let's get to the super chats. They are aplenty. First up from Sky Captain Robo, we have a membership that happened, and we're so happy about that. Of course, we covered this in the pre-show, but we want to give attention here as well. Drifting Metalhead is also a YouTube member now. Happy to have you. We have YK Penguin aboard, and that gives us all happy feet. We also have from Packing Protons, Games and Animation 45. Well, we're waiting. Meme Super Chat number 50 on to 80K. 80K, we're going to skip right over 70 and just keep moving. Thank you, Packing Protons. Also from Tommy Tables, 10 gifted memberships. What a benevolent table, that man. As well as Space Dave 2000, who was on the panel along with Tommy in the pre-show, gifting 5 WDW Pro memberships. That is so appreciated, I cannot tell you. Then we also have Jay gifting 20 WDW Pro memberships. Look at all of you out there. It's raining memberships. If you're not yet a member, hang tight. We might even get some more. Who knows? It's celebratory around this place. Thank you, Jay. That is extraordinarily kind. We also, from Scott Westbrook, received 5 WDW Pro memberships. What a wonderful thing that is. Truly, I mean it. We have from Mr. Buttcrack Media celebrating 60,000 subscribers with 20 more WDW Pro memberships. Holy cow, folks. What a good and glorious thing that is. How kind, how kind. And I think, folks, it's time that we celebrate right now.
I like photos.
Perfect.
Thank you to all who have been gifting memberships and just for subscribing and being a viewer. You are all greatly appreciated. Of course, this is a special time for the subscriber 60K celebration. So our audience now catching on as we are approaching 400 in the audience, catching on. So folks, if you could help them out, make sure you share this out on your favorite social medias so that everybody knows that the Pro Show is happening right now. We want to say to Industrious Bear, happy World Hippo Day right back at you. And hey, Bob, an excellent $2 super chat that, well, it just goes right well with what the topic's going to be today. I have to say, will there be hippo love? Well, there just might be. Also, we have from Jay, yay, for 5. We can gift memberships. Hurry up, Jonas, or we'll keep picking on you. And if you're wanting to gift memberships on That Park Place, well, that YouTube channel opens up memberships as part of their 10K celebration this Friday at 10 p.m. So that's going to be very, very exciting. Go support them. Go celebrate them. We're so happy.
Be there or be square.
That's right. They've done it. They've done it very quickly. Mr. Buttcrack Media, who keeps the YouTube juices flowing, says, hail to WDW Pro and panel. Congrats on 60K. Always glad to be here. Well, we're so glad that you're here as well. We've got JB Spooky Review saying 60K in such a short time is crazy. Congrats. And we agree. It's an attitude of gratitude here on this channel. We do not take a single person for granted. And if you stuck around, you know that's true. Michelle C. says, congratulations, Pro. Waiting for you to hit 100K. Yes, Disney may try to be a porch pirate, though, when it comes to that plaque arriving. They may try to steal it off the studio's front door. Who knows? And then we've got Irate Specialist for member for 10 months says, congratulations, Pro. Here is to 60K more. We've got decades and decades more in the tank. So we'll just keep at what we do, which is the truth as best we can tell it. Karen Owen, who was on the panel just a few moments ago, member for 10 months. Business question. I got the email about Disney meeting and voting. Is there a way to get a printed copy of the annual report and ballot? I want to make Big Bobby have to pay to send it out. Well, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I wish that I did. I wish I could reward that member post with something more substantive. Does anybody on the panel have an answer to that? I don't know offhand how you would force them into a physical printout for them.
Maybe talk to the broker who sold you the shares.
Tell him you're deaf.
Those both will be will work. One of them is more humorous than the other. But yes,
hey,
don't Karen, don't claim a disability. What was that, Mr. Ghost?
You have to have them send a Braille copy if you ask for it.
Well,
that would have to cost more.
That would be. I hope she can read Braille. Jonas J. Campbell, who is taking the evening because he has been working so hard and still has more to do, be there and be square. I get that joke. And then John Thomas says, y'all talking about the X-Men coming disaster? Yes. And we've got breaking news about that. So welcome aboard. We're going to be covering that in just a moment. Also, we've got Penny, who says, member for 5 months, congrats, Pro, on your 60K plus onwards and upwards. Well, thank you so much. That's so kind, and it's wonderful to have the support of so many. We love it, we enjoy it, and it is greatly appreciated. All right, let's get to the X-Men trailer that left many of us slightly excited this morning before the latest news happened. We know, by the way, about the Morph story. Everybody's talking about it, and no disparagement meant. It should be talked about, right? Morph is no longer of the persuasion Morph was, and we didn't care about the persuasion of Morph or any other character for 2 seconds back in the 90s. But there's a story that's breaking on that Park Place that's worse. It's far worse. We'll talk about it on the flip side of this trailer. Hang tight.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I'm grateful to have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
Fate lies in our hands now. Now.
We have to stay vigilant. The professor entrusted us with his dream.
Right there was part of the problem.
No matter how dark it is, we must believe in each other.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bub, keep buzzing in my ear.
Heads up!
To me, my X-Men. Magneto, the last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
And we should have known that it was too good to be true. Go ahead, Tom.
Said it was Biclops.
Well, we should have known it was too good to be true. Images such as this started pouring out, and people started pointing to the descriptions of the characters, which, by the way, the Morph thing is bad, and that's been the focus, but there's plenty more to make you sad. It's not just Morph. They're also going to be changing Jubilee. She is going to be adulting, quote unquote. And then we had some readings of both Gambit and Rogue that talk about bringing these characters into modernity, not the kind of thing.
Pretty much the only one that didn't have something revolving around some sort of relationship was, I think, was it what's his face? I just forgot his name. Cable.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, Nightcrawler, they're trying to keep that a secret. But I think Nightcrawler is going to be more prominent in this, and I don't think he's in necessary relationship. But
But in modern day, they've taken a lot of his Catholicism and stuff away. And that's the
Yes,
thing that I
absolutely.
saw right away was that newspaper and his yellow flash pointed out on Twitter. That's from a more modern story.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, yes.
buckle up,
Let's
buckaroo.
go now to what I think is going to make many of us unhappy. You know, it's hard to get angry at Disney anymore because they keep doing this. So you kind of just expect it. But here's how bad this is. And for many of you, this is going to be the first time you've heard this. This Out of That Park Place, which again, folks, if you don't have it bookmarked, make sure that you do. And this is by John Trent. X-Men 97 showrunner confirms show embraced woke casting. I'm going to tell you right now, that headline doesn't tell you half of how bad this is. But here's what it says. X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DiMaio, who we have covered on this channel in the past, has said some very controversial things about the show, confirmed the show fully embraced woke casting for the various voice actors in the show. In an expose about the show, Entertainment Weekly's Nick Romano announced the cast for the series. Cal Dodd voices Wolverine. Allison Saley Smith voices Storm. George Busa brings to life Beast. Adrian Hugh plays Nightcrawler. Chris Britton plays Mr. Sinister. And Lenore Zahn returns to Rogue. Newcomers include Ray Chase, who voices Cyclops. No problem there. The original voice actor passed away, sadly. Jennifer Hale voices Jean Grey. AJ Locascio voices Gambit. Holly Chu plays Jubilee. JP Carliak voices Morph. Isaac Robinson Smith, Bishop, and you get the idea. You can all read that. We won't keep going. But this paragraph is what contains, I think, is what's so offensive, majorly offensive. A number of the original voice cast are now playing newer characters. It's going to be the reason why that's going to annoy you. Catherine Disher, who originally voiced Jean Grey, is now playing Dr. Valerie Cooper. Chris Potter, who previously played Gambit, is now Cable. Lawrence Bain, who has played Cable, is now Executioner. Ron Rubin, who originally played Morph, is now President Robert Edward Kelly. And original Jubilee actress Allison Court is now playing Absissa, I think is the way we say that one. Now, everybody take a look at this.
Why?
Look at the actress's name who played Jubilee. Allison Court. Jubilee is Asian. Allison Court is not. If you go back through these, the reason that they have recast the original roles and put the original voice actors in secondary and background character roles is because they didn't think that they were authentic, and so they're no longer allowed to play the roles that you would have thought this thing was being brought back for. Let that sink in for a moment. According to Romano, DiMaio confirmed the recastings were done for authentic representation. Romano wrote, "There are many reasons behind the recastings," DiMaio explains, "that range from more authentic representation. Court recognizes that voicing an Asian character like Jubilee as a Canadian actress in the 90s was a product of its time. To vocal intonations. In other words, this show knows better than the success that was the 90s. On top of this confirmation that the show embraced woke quota casting, Zahn made it clear the show will embrace the we'll leave that out, and we'll do it through the character of Rogue and her powers that do not let her physically touch another person. And what this gets into is that Rogue is going to be a representative of the alphabet community. I don't know how, but the romance that matters in X-Men is Rogue and Gambit, and that is being shifted now into alphabet territory. That confirmed, and that Park Place reporting on all of this. Panel, I turn to you now. Let's start with Culture. Culture, help me in a measured way respond to the idea that these people brought back something beloved from the 90s and immediately recast the people who played these characters to near perfection and put them in secondary roles after the contracts were signed because of the message.
Well, look, this has been happening in a whole lot of productions. This isn't new. The goal is specifically to hand prominent roles over to people they think better represent the characters and not the originals. Do you have a specific example you can think of? I mean, handing over roles that used to belong to other people?
Say it again, Culture.
Can you recall one of the most recent versions of this happening where people are thrown out of their original roles and brought back just because they happen to have the same melanin content as the character they're portraying as a voice?
You know, we've seen this happen on a wide variety of cartoons where I'll give you one example. The Simpsons has been replete with this, where they're no longer allowed to voice their characters any longer. Beloved, iconic characters because they're the wrong ethnicity.
How many decades was The Simpsons around before they decided this was a problem?
Oh, close to 3.
And it was always okay then, right?
I mean, it was fine until the very moment they decided to get political. And did it also seem to correspond with when Disney actually acquired The Simpsons via Fox?
It did.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who needs the Quickie Mart?
No,
I thought the Simpsons characters were all like these weird colors, you know? Like I never thought of the Simpsons as being Caucasian because they're yellow. They're literally yellow. So I never thought about the races of these characters. Maybe Apu is different. I don't know. Tom, your thought?
Yeah, I don't understand this as far as like this whole idea that recasting the roles is going to make any difference. All you're going to do is piss off the fans. And it's virtue signaling at the end of the day. Why can't they just let actors act? Right? I don't get this. The Simpson thing always bothered me too, because they clearly could have just acknowledged the way it used to be done is like you're only allowed so many actors per show in your budget. And that's the reason in animation you're allowed to use through the union and other rules certain actors for dual roles in a show just so you don't have to hire so many other actors. Right? So it's kind of one of those things where it's, hey, I get a bump on my pay because I get to play, you know, some guy in the crowd aside from my normal guy this episode, right? So that was just one of those things that came along. In The Simpsons, you had the entire family, which was already made up of 5 different cast members. And then the rest of the city was voiced by another female actress and basically 2 other actors mixed with Dan Castellaneta, which are Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer. And they're such great voice actors that it doesn't matter what voices they're doing.
And by the way, this goes back
Exactly.
to radio, for God's sakes. When my mother was doing shows in radio, she would do 2 or 3 characters on a show.
Yes, well, you know, think about this. How are we ever going to have people play different characters if you have to fit into a very tiny microcosm of what you're allowed to be? So in other words, if it's an alphabet character, only the person that identifies with that exact letter is going to be allowed to play it. Also, if you're only male, you can only play male. Also, if you're only female, you can only play female. Take that, all you young ladies who want to play young men, you know, because a kid sounds like a woman, you know, a little boy can be played by a female. Get rid of that. That's gone.
Woman, yeah. Yeah.
And lots of women play children because if they have kids doing it, there are limits on how many hours they can work and how many days they can work. And
well, not just that. Obviously, their voice changes.
Well, that too. But
that's why most of the time women do voices of children in television shows because it makes sense because their voice never changes, right? So yeah, Bart Simpson is like a 60-year-old woman.
All right, Nancy. Going back to the article for a moment, during Marvel's X-Men 60 Uncanny Years live virtual event, DeMaio revealed that he came up with a pitched it to Kevin Feige, and him and Brad Winderbaum could not have been more supportive and also encouraging to make sure we got it right. I think one of my favorite parts was like they were truly interested in like what my experience as a black gay man was and how it was going to inform the story we were telling. And to them was like, that is how we're going to make this authentic, he continued. I don't understand any of this because, well, I do. I don't. Here's the deal. If you want to have something be successful, then you should want, if you're going to bring something like this back, it needs to be authentic to the thing that it was that made it so popular. And if I went to somebody and I said, I want to remake this thing, if I want to bring it back, but I want to make it feel authentic to my experience as someone who, you know, and you can come up with whatever criteria. It doesn't matter what the criteria is. It's wrong. It's totally wrong because you are attempting to replicate something as best you can and to return that in the form that it was, not by filtering it through your own narcissistic tendencies. And I think they have lost their marbles when it comes to the marketing of this. They've lost their marbles when it comes to how to tell a good story. Ron, am I wrong on any of this? Anywhere?
It's the whole thing is strange to me. Like we live in a very, very upside down world. You know, when you think about as an actor myself, you know, I mean, my first major role in a movie was portraying a gay man. You know, it was just part of the character. It's actually a real person. I was representing a person who does actually exist in real life. He is a gay man. I met him, very nice guy. He didn't seem to have any issues with me being a straight guy playing him. So, you know, no issues there. But I thought acting was about acting, like the whole point. And none of this should be about the actors or their authentic experience. It should be about what the audience wants. So if it's about one person out of every 1,000 people in the audience, what they want, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose the 999 people in the audience. And entertainment it's about, you know, reaching the most amount of people that you can. And it's really interesting. You know, if you go back to the 90s when X-Men was a show, I think that was a time in media when we were very open, where media was opening up the whole narrative of being more accepting of people that are different from you. And it worked. Everything that they were doing in the 90s, you know, you look at Will and Grace or Friends or any of those shows that, you know, I still love watching those shows today. And they clearly had lots of different characters with lots of different backgrounds that we could learn from and embrace. But I don't think it was so much about pushing a message to an audience that wasn't already there. It was about saying, hey, you know, these are the people in your life and we'll accept them. And throughout this period, there were some people that were not gay playing gay actors. I mean, Brokeback Mountain, I don't think those guys were gay in real life. They certainly played the characters very well. But
citation needed.
hey, let me ask this, though. That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. Guys, we live in a time when Brokeback Mountain would not be allowed because it's not far left enough. Well, that's a point. Nail that one down.
Scarlett
and put it on
Johansson.
Wow.
Remember, recently Scarlett Johansson couldn't play a trans character. Remember, and the other thing that bothers me about this X-Men '97, you had it up there on the screen. The whole thing with the non-binary thing, that wasn't even a term back then. You had bisexual, yes, but you didn't have non-binary. This is a modern thing.
Right, it's not
That's what I was going to say is the experience of being a gay man, a black man, a Asian woman in 2024 has nothing to do with how it was in 1997.
No.
So, what a point.
I mean, you know, the anachronistic aspect is silly enough, but to me, animation, my God, are they saying, well, you don't sound black enough? I mean, what kind of statement is that? And you were talking about movies that wouldn't happen. Would they be mad at La Cage aux Folles because it was stereotypical?
Oh, they'll be mad at anything that doesn't fit their power play. Well, it's all about power.
But it strips out incredible classics, like as you were saying, La Cage aux Folles, which is you know, the remake was The Birdcage, you know, with Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. You had The Crying Game.
That would not be allowed any longer because Robin Williams was not of that persuasion, correct?
Well, do they have to redub? Yeah, do they have to redub the Shredder now in the old Ninja Turtles?
Wow. I'm terrified of what you know about Shredder that I don't. I don't even ask.
You know who does the voice, right?
Yes. Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil does the voice. He's not an Asian guy.
No.
But he had. I mean, his voice is 100% iconic.
Wait a second. Let's go back to superheroes for a second. Does this mean that we can no longer have Tom Holland play Peter Parker because he's English?
Wait. Darth Vader.
That's true.
Is he black? But we know James Earl Jones is.
Well, they won't even acknowledge James Earl Jones any longer. Yeah. Every time it's his birthday, they'll wish everybody in the world a birthday, but the man continues to live, and they continue to ignore him from Lucasfilm. So
dark side. No, you really don't know the power. Trust me.
So, guys, let me take it in this direction, and then we need to hit some super chats. One of the most fascinating things to me about this is the level to which Marvel needs X-Men to succeed is immeasurable. Marvel right now, outside of Deadpool 3, has nothing going for it whatsoever. It is a franchise in serious danger of falling out of being where it is in the tier list of franchises. It's in danger of no longer being perceived as dominant. It's in danger of no longer being perceived as evergreen by its licensing partners. X-Men is the future. This animated series, if it tanks and if it's seen as disrespectful, which I already see it as disrespectful, highly disrespectful, then Marvel is doing immense damage to their future and to Disney's future. What do you guys think about
that? There's a lot of damage that's already been done. I don't know. I mean, the real question is how much lower can they go, and how willing are they to just go that low and lose their audience?
Well, and I think a lot of parents who enjoyed the old show are going to be excited when they hear about this and say, hey, come on, kids, let me show you the new version of this show I used to love. And the first time some strange scene happens that they didn't realize was going to be in it, that's not your father's X-Men. It's going to be the sad reality.
Well, and it sounds like it's going to be a bunch of feelings in the mansion hallways.
But we really didn't get enough sitting around tables talking about feelings and relationships and
stuff
in the series. I feel like
we need more feelings.
We really missed out on everybody's preference of underwear,
sexuality,
and the kind of bedclothes that they put on their beds and such.
So let's just say this too. The reason this matters is because of all of the animated shows in the 90s dealing with comic books, this is either the best or the second best, with Batman the animated series being the other. So this is something that is significant in the foundational views of so many people who grew up with this as the cartoon that they enjoyed and they loved. To take that now and to rewrap it in today's issues and to not foresee the damage that could do, I think is tremendous.
The other thing about this cartoon, in particular, X-Men 97 in particular, is this is the one that led the way to the movie being created. And I would dare say that the 2000 X-Men movie was the introduction into modern comic book movie making. And so it is a pivotal property. Plus, this is what's weird. The X-Men already, by their own characters, by what they are, by the mutants that they are, you don't have to go further into describing why they're different. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the underlying outcast category that they all sit within.
Right.
Well, and that's where the obliviousness comes in, right? Because they're going to make it even worse. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's the whole point. Like, you don't have to go further. When you do that, you are peeling back a layer that doesn't need to be peeled back, because that's kind of the whole point of it. You're literally pushing away the audience you want to see X-Men because of what X-Men is supposed to represent, to draw that audience in. You're doing the exact opposite of, and it's what's so funny is that the people who are in charge of this writing, of doing it, they're literally doing the exact opposite of what they want to do, which is make
what a
people
tremendous
in
point.
a more understanding.
Yeah, exactly what Ron is
tremendous
saying.
point.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking what used to be an allegory for something you could feed in anything, right? You could feed in, well, I'm black and I don't feel like I fit in. I understand the X-Men. Well, I'm gay and I feel like I don't fit in. Well, I understand the X-Men. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other, I'm disabled, I'm whatever it is. You can feed that into the X-Men because it's not so direct as an allegory of something that they're trying to make it to be now.
They've muddled the metaphor.
Exactly.
It doesn't even need the racial or sexual politics. I'm a kid and people ignore me.
Exactly.
It's Peter Parker. Why that works.
But making it ambiguous helps with that, right? But once you start putting labels on it, that's the problem, right?
Yeah. And they're saying not only are we acceptable, and not only should we have equal, damn it, our sexual choice is a superpower.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, are they actually bringing the ambiguously gay duo into this? That would be
QSNL.
At this point, even they're like, this stuff is just way too well for us.
Well, like we said, when Brokeback Mountain would not be able to be released because it does not fit into the pristine Puritan forces of the far, far, far left. It's a real problem. We're not political here, folks. We're trying to describe what is the philosophy undergirding this.
Everybody talks about how Blazing Saddles couldn't be done today because of the ethnic things. What about Dom DeLuise's character as the director of the musical? Couldn't do that.
No.
You know what else? I'm just thinking about this. It occurs to me that it wasn't enough for them to make a new X-Men show and do this. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to bring back something that was beloved and repackage it so that they indoctrinate that with whatever they want to do. It's amazing to me. Real quick, though, guys, we're about to get to Super Chats. We've been holding a little bit too long on those, but we have a special message that I think many of you out there are going to enjoy. We haven't done a commercial in honor of a member in a while, and I think it's time that changed.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
There are times when you are faced with a question of is this alive or is it dead? When you cannot figure out what incarnation this critter might be. That's when you call Is This Live at 1-888-IS-THIS-LIVE. Don't pay attention to the number, folks. Just dial it. And we'll help you out figuring out, is that critter live or not? IsThisLive.com.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can't hear you! Aye, aye, Captain! Oh! Who is the man who has t-shirt to sing? Arrogant compromise all morality! If pimples and showers are something you miss, fire a policeman to keep your office! Cringe Mob Wolf Pants! Cringe Mob Wolf Pants! Cringe Mob Wolf Pants! Cringe Mob Wolf Pants!
It just had to be done. All right, let's get to those super chats right now. And again, thank you to Floral. So good. And thank you, Is This Live, for being so great. And folks, we are not ignoring some of our other tremendous members out there like Jay and Captain John D, Space Dave 2000, and so many more. We're looking forward to getting back in the business of making those fun commercials that recognize all of you. Let's do that right now with super chats before they get too stacked up and Mike jumps all over us somewhere. A tipping barn for 199. Power to the 199. Amazing how quickly you rose. Congratulations. Well, folks, it's because of you. You're the gigawatts. You're the reason all of this happens. One more time. It's you.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
All right, from John Maynor for $10. Thank you so much. Have you gotten any more information regarding the billboard? Well, the fantastic news is that we do indeed now have Beep Bop Booped merchandise at the Pro Store, and it's 16% off right now in celebration of 60,000 subscribers. And we are going to be using that along with some other stuff to get ready for a bit of a marketing push and sending that message out. So we're trying to figure out which billboards and which ones would be most effective. I have even thought, John, of doing a road trip and having the billboards be at a couple of different stops and cataloging this and having it be just a really, really fun time.
How about
So
a
we'll
van
see.
with one of those wraps?
Yes. We just want to park it outside Lucasfilm. Would that be a good idea?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they would come scratch the car, but I'm not sure that they have the fortitude to do so. All right, here we go with Changer of Ways. Speaking of, Beep Bop Ooped. They hate you. Don't believe their lies. Oh, we never, ever do. Good, Dartu. Good job. From Dark Hierophant for $2, welcome to DEI. Dear X-Men, this is how you D-I-E. Not at the hands of the apocalypse, but at the hands of the intersectionality. Third wave cray-crays. From YK Penguin for $4.99. My feeling tells me eventually they will bring back Professor, and somehow he and Magneto will be lovers. Ah. Well, if Charles has any metal implants, it's not going to go well.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
That service dog for 5 months. Tom?
Oh, I was just going to say, on the note of Magneto, that might be a good place to share this image I have here, because I was watching the trailer and I was just sitting here thinking, oh, so it took a different kind of mutants to get Shredder this time, huh?
Oh, no.
That does look like Shredder from behind, doesn't it? I know it's Magneto.
It does, yes, absolutely.
But I want to destroy the turtles.
That one's a tough one to do, but the Krang, that voice, I don't even know how you do that and sustain it. Yeah, it's nuts. And breathing in while doing the voice.
Shredder.
Ah! Wow, he did it. Tom is a man of so many talents.
I want a new body.
No, that was Stitch. I see.
I was going to say, sounds like
kind of close. It's similar.
Then
what you do is you just take that and you add like
bring it in.
And jiggle to it. Yeah, that's all it is. No, I'm serious. That's because when he talks, you look at it and it's just a bubbly brain. Then you got Bebop and Rocksteady, of course, too. But yeah.
Anyway, and Rocksteady was done by the same guy who did Leonardo. All right, that service dog for member for 5. By this standard, does this mean that only gingers can voice gingers? They don't have any of those anymore. Like Jean, she's going to have a hair change.
They've been canceled.
Yeah. By the way, have you guys seen the Ariel thing, the junior Disney Junior thing yet?
No, but I heard about it.
Ariel.
Culture. What was your thought? I'm going to pull that up real quick.
I'm just a huge fan of Rogue's backstory, so that's all.
Oh no, Twitter is not loading, and I need it to. What are you doing?
She's one of my favorite redheads. I really look. The fact that we didn't get a proper Rogue and Gambit movie, we had to settle for the fan one. This is a shame.
Here we go. Actually, I've got this out of that park place. This was not planned, folks, but I got to bring it up because it's perfect for this member chat. Take a look at Aunt Ursula. Disney to make Sea Witch Ursula into beloved aunt in Disney Junior's Ariel series. Want race replaced Ariel to be first connections preschoolers have to Ariel. So here's the new Ariel. She has no Caucasian friends that we've seen, no Euro-descended friends that we've seen. They're going back to the Flounder and Sebastian designs, but they're switching things up. And this is really interesting. So so this media has been disabled in response to a report by the copyright owner. This is probably because this was so poorly received that they're doing everything they can to reduce it. This featured, and I mocked this on Twitter. That's what I was trying to find and pull up, but unfortunately, that's going to be hard to do. They had these two ultra liberal white women promoting this, and I just thought that was so interesting that rather than have somebody of color, quote unquote, revealing this, it was two ultra white women who looked like they came out of gender studies programs. So too funny, too interesting.
Ariel, the Disney world is a mess.
Wow.
Come on, Tom. There's another line there. You got to go with it. Do it. Do it.
Under the sea, it's better than anything we got up there.
Because they do pale skin up there,
This
At this point in time, it's life at Universal is better than anything that got over there.
There you go. That's a better line. Yeah,
that's about to be really.
I want to go see Mario too.
Wahoo! Nolan Thunder, member for 5 months. So they say they are going by background for the voice actors, but the great voice actor Jennifer Hale is a Canadian voicing a New Yorker in Jean Grey. They aren't even consistent with their agenda. Well, that's because it's all about power. It's not about
come on, Nolan. Consistency. It's so 1990. Oh, wait a minute.
Exactly. Memorable virus for 5. They'll allow race-bent historical figures, but won't allow an Asian voice actor play a black character. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Well, memorable virus. How about this? The chances of you seeing a pale-skinned Tiana are only more likely if it's budgetarily in their favor. Wink, wink, if any of you have been following what we've been talking about with Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
Culture, have you seen any of that? Do you know why the Tiana animatronic probably doesn't look like Tiana in Splash Mountain?
Isn't that because it was supposed to be her mother?
So what I'm finding out, Culture, is they allegedly, can't prove this, not verified, but allegedly they took the Bell animatronic, one of the Bell animatronics from France and reskinned it.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that the facial structure for Belle is not similar to Tiana, but it was going to be too expensive. Now, I cannot claim that to be absolute, folks. That is rumor and speculation. I want to be very clear about that. But if you go do a side-by-side of the animatronics and look at the facial shape, and if you wonder why did they have to take that animatronic and put a new wig on it that doesn't look like Tiana, and then you look at the Belle animatronic and you go, oh, wait, the shape of those wigs, even though the hair texture is very different, the shape of those wigs, remarkably the same. Interesting.
Well, in looking at them though, I'm having a hard time with that because of the chin shape.
Well, the chin. So to me, the chin looks spot on. It's the nose that they've changed.
Let me double check.
But the nose culture, the nose is a part of the mask that protrudes. So that doesn't have any impact. If you protrude outward, it doesn't have any impact on the mechanics within the head. If the shell of the head, though, is such that you can't shrink in the chin, which they would need to do to make Tiana look like Tiana, or make the mouth the size that Tiana's mouth is presented as in Princess and the Frog, that's where I think we get in a situation where it doesn't look like Tiana. So,
and the dimples are missing too.
Yes, the dimples are gone. Dimples, no dimples. Dimples, no dimples. All right, Tommy, tables for 5. Isn't this being inauthentic to the original actors who worked to make the show the success it is, as well as to the audience in the show itself? Well, Tommy, I'm interested in what the panel has to say on this, but what would really irk me is if the original voice actors were signed and then told, by the way, you don't get to play the characters that you played.
I don't think that would happen because subsidiary characters with less time are getting a lesser paycheck.
Oh, so you think they just took it knowing I'm getting paid less?
Yeah, well, they'd have to be if they're not going to be working as much. So I don't know what the scale is for voice actors in the contract, but there's got to be a principal player versus secondary character difference in the scale. So
very interesting. And
to me, I think you're right that they knew the whole time. But to me, the bait and switch came in where it felt like, you know, when you have like the original star cameo in a remake and it's just a throwaway cameo just so you can act like you had some kind of, you know, blessing to make this crappy remake that nobody wanted to see.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me, because when they first talked about this, that was the whole thing they brought up was, oh yeah, they're bringing back all the original voice actors.
Yeah.
Play different parts. Yeah. They didn't say the other part out loud. See, and that's where people got excited on this. And this whole thing to me, and this is why I've been warning people, this whole thing feels like a bait and switch the whole way through. And, you know, you guys did a great job with that layout you guys have on that.
Yeah, John did a great job of breaking down the history of this.
Brilliantly done, because all it's doing is showing you exactly what I'm a fear of, and that is that this show is going to try and draw people in on the nostalgic value of the original X-Men by making it look, sound, feel like the original X-Men. But then when you get into it and you realize, this ain't the X-Men I ordered.
That's right.
This is Diet X-Men
you're looking for.
Yeah, this is Diet X-Men Light. Like, what is? Wait, whoa!
It's like going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and instead it's they're serving Fruity Pebbles that night. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and then on top of it all, how is nobody even saying that whole buzzing in my ear bub line wasn't the most cringe thing they've heard all year?
Yeah.
I mean, you have all these lines that you probably could have used, and that's the one you put in the trailer.
It's bad. Well, that may speak to there not being much to work with. Because
that's what I'm getting at. Exactly.
Yes, the marketing team, not the same as the creative team. And if the marketing team is struggling that badly to find a good Wolverine line, all right, well, let's keep going. Is this live for 20 Canadians? As CC would say, this is pure wackadoodleism. And speaking of that, congrats to one of the YouTubers, Counter Wackadoodlers, for 60K. Well, thank you, Is This Live? Hope you enjoyed the commercial. And yes, wackadoodleage is in plenty of supply here on the Pro.
I thought the Counter Wackadoodler was the new villain in the series. I don't know.
This is a Wackadoodler.
I am the Counter Wackadoodler.
If that Xavier and Magneto thing happens, then yes, Tom, you're right. Wackadoodle is on the way. Albertus Magnus for 10. Disney is not about bringing back. Disney is committed to replacement. Reimagine tomorrow. Replace classic movies. Replace characters. Replace actors. What came before will be sent down the memory hole. And folks, if you've not yet seen Iger admitting to that in a leaked video from Christopher Rufo, you definitely need to go check it out. Next up, it's a huge one. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just say, it just reminds me real quick of a line from the old Ninja Turtles show where Shredder's upset with Bebop and Rocksteady. He's like, "What are they doing?" And Krang goes, "Yeah, the only thing they know how to do."
Okay, that's getting better by the. Keep practicing, Tom. We're about to have something going.
It's been a while since
here.
I've done it, but yeah.
You wait, Tom. You're going to be a one-man show doing Splinter Shredder and Krang doing quick takes, hot takes on trailers. It's a new channel coming out, Midnight's Edge in the Technodrome. But I want to say a huge thank you to Is This Live. It's a massive 50 subscriber or a 50 membership gifting, and we are so thankful for that.
Wow.
Let's roll the tape and celebrate together.
I want to hear it.
Not right now.
Yes, now, Dusty Bun.
Wait. Okay.
A blindfolded half-court shot that is now the talk of campus and beyond.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Is that on tape?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
Wow.
There are times when you are faced with a question of is this alive or is it dead? When you cannot figure out what incarnation this critter might be. That's when you call Is This Live at 1-888-IS-THIS-LIVE. Don't pay attention to the number, folks. Just dial it. And we'll help you out figuring out, is that critter live or not? IsThisLive.com.
Now, Tom, I want to preface this next super chat by saying we are all going to have to hold back on this, okay? Tom, can I get that look one more time? Tom, you're going to have to behave with this next super chat. All right, here we go. Paul Ryan for 199, power to the 199, asks, could they remake Dick Attacks in this day and age? Tom, you be good, I swear.
I don't even know what that is. What's Dick Attacks?
I'm going to turn this to Mr. Ghost. Could they remake it?
I have no idea. I'm with Tom. I think it's probably funny, but
we'll come back to that. Mark Daly for 5. Other than Jubilee, all the people they changed voice actors for, Gambit, Gene, Rogue, are all white people. Why change those voice actors?
Right.
Gambit, because the original is not Cajun. Gene, I'm not sure about. And Rogue is because Rogue is not. So Rogue is going to be a representation of the alphabet this time.
So Gene, they had to change out because the actress wasn't actually psychic.
Oh.
Got to bring in those real psychics.
Yeah, eventually, they're going to be like, we can't do the show because we don't have actual superpowered people to represent the superpowered people that we're trying to show.
We're going to have to stop Avatar in its tracks then, because I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
We don't have blue aliens.
All right, guys, we're going to do a couple more super chats. There's a ton, and we're so thankful, an attitude of gratitude on this channel for each and every one of you out there sending in the super chats. And yes, I know about the Valiant Renegade one as well. And Valiant, you have the link. It's on Slack with our back channels. Valiant, we're going to be covering Vanguard in just a moment. So if you want to hop in and join the panel, we sure could use you for that. But up to you, and I know you're busy. But moving right along, which I think is a quote from a very popular and classic film from one point in time.
Look, footloose and fancy free.
Getting there is half the... Never mind. Okay, Packing Protons, games and animation for 10. Modern Disney, they like the X-Men trailer. Also Modern Disney, crap. They like the X-Men trailer. What can we do to show we are still an ally? I know. Release this instead. I had to add the instead myself. Yep.
I hope you're right, Packing Protons. I hope it's a bunch of, they're really digging deep to try to pander to that community.
Well,
I guess
they have to be. They have to be allies, Tom. You have in this day and age. You have to be an ally.
I don't have to do nothing.
Yes, you do.
No,
only you.
Disney may have killed Marvel and Lucas and all these Pixar, but they have revived the good news, bad news joke. I have to give them credit for that. Every time we get good news, there's bad news to go with it.
Yeah.
Well, I am actually just texting one Valiant Renegade. He is in a meeting doing real work stuff, but hopefully if he gets finished, he can hop in here and talk Vanguard with us. All right, last one, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. We will come back, folks, with those super chats. Not a single super chat shall be missed. Never leave one behind. Changer of Ways, beep, bop, boop for 2. And by the way, Changer of Ways have been so kind and generous today. They want to normalize a Wolverine Jubilee romance. Well, that would be interesting.
I don't think they will.
Maybe that's why she's adulting now.
I don't think they will.
I don't know if you guys saw, but in the descriptions of the characters, Jubilee is now fully adulting. That's how they phrased it.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be like probably one of the more annoying characters in the show now. But I think they're gonna ship a morph with Wolverine. I think that's the plan.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that gives new meaning to samurai. Okay. Well, let's get to something that's deeply complex.
Think I'm joking? I'm not.
No,
because
I believe
they're
you.
Stealing a lot from modern comics, and as we know, not to be too graphic, let's just say Biclops and him share a bed.
Like a king size California king?
I don't know.
Are they going to play Rihanna during it in this California?
There's a lot of hinting. That's all I'm going to say.
Hinting. All right, well, let's get to something that's not a hint. This is happening. Vanguard is increasing holdings in Disney significantly prior to the proxy vote, and yes, they beat the deadline. Let's pull this up, folks, and we are going way in the weeds today with this official filing. This out of streetinsider.com. It's an SEC filing. And we are way down in the number of pages. If you're reading along with us, folks, in your text today, 13G is where you need to be. So we're going to take a look at this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, credit goes to Jonas on this for finding this. Lou, if I'm wrong, if it was somebody else who discovered this, you correct me, because I know you were probably in the back channels where we shared this when it was found. But again, an SEC filing. And so let's read through this very quickly. I just want everybody to know what we're talking about, why we're talking about it, why it matters. It really does. Point 1, name of reporting person for the IRS is the Vanguard Group. Now, Vanguard and BlackRock have traditionally been some of the biggest holders of Disney stock. And of course, these entities hold a vast number of people's retirements. And so that's how they collect this power, is through the mundanity of people, giving them money to grow their assets for their retirement, or for, just simply wanting to have more money out of their investments. But then, as of late, some of these entities, to varying degrees, have used those investments not necessarily solely for that purpose, but also for social and, what would you say, agenda-driven reasons. We're not accusing Vanguard of that. We're not accusing BlackRock. We're simply saying that seems to be something in the modern era that has some impact. Now, of course, Vanguard out of Pennsylvania, but if we go down here and we get to shared voting power at 2,277,675, now, take a look at this. Shared dispositive power at over 7 million.
Yeah.
This is the thing that really matters. Go down to point 11. Percent of class represented by amount in row 9. Okay, so if we take aggregate amount beneficially owned by each reporting person at 151 million plus, Vanguard now has increased, and according to the person that I spoke with on this, and I believe they have the right stuff, they said that Vanguard was at 8%, but now, just prior to the proxy vote, Vanguard has increased to 8.27%. This came in, my understanding, is either in late December or early January. So Vanguard actually increasing their stocks. Now, why does this matter? Because many people out there have been, they've been asking about the Disney stock. What's going on with the Disney stock? Why is it increasing in price? Why is it increasing in value? Even though we'd said that in our viewpoint, although we're not here to give any kind of financial advice at all, don't listen to us, we don't know anything, but we said Disney stock was likely to rise. Well, it's rising, or it was, and we wanted to give a sneak peek behind the scenes as to why this is happening. It seems that the institutional investors, not just Nelson Peltz, not just Ike Perlmutter and some of these other groups associated with Tryon, but the institutional investors are also increasing their stake in Disney, and that either could be because they just genuinely believe Disney stock is going to go up 2 months ago, and they want to provide a great ROI for all of those who have entrusted them with their funds, or it could be that they are preparing to be more impactful in this proxy vote. I'll let the audience decide which way you think that is, but I wanted to draw the attention to the Disney stock in a way that we don't typically see on YouTube, and that is that looking here at this SEC filing, yes, indeed, part of that stock value that's happening right now has to do with Vanguard increasing, not to a small degree. When you talk about moving the needle, 0.27% in a very short span of time, just prior to a proxy vote, in a corporation that's valued well over $100 billion, that is a lot of stock being purchased, and it makes you wonder what's going on with the other institutional investors. Panel, any thoughts on that one? I know it's deeply in the weeds, but I wanted to bring it to the audience.
Because it's in the weeds, the first thing everybody has to remember is it matters that this happened when it did, because who gets to vote is whoever had stock as of the close of the market the day that the earnings call happened. Anything after that doesn't count. But conversely, people who owned it during that period who may have since sold it also get to vote. So it's and also I know in Trian's materials, they're telling people, hey, if you voted white, but now you want to vote blue, you can do that too. So they're looking for every last vote they can find, and rightly so. My take on this and all of these big institutions and the mutual funds and the big brokerage houses is, if after all this settles down, whatever happens with Peltz, Disney starts to plummet based on the reality of the fact that they make a lot of promises they can't keep, at what point does their willingness to support it for DEI reasons conflict with their own credibility as people who pick winners? That is what remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Panelists, any other thoughts on this one?
I was watching some very strange accumulations of stocks over the period of about a week that is not attributable to this. So somebody else has been acquiring stock that has not yet filed their acquisition.
And Culture, remember, on this channel, we said that the chances of the Disney stock going down during a proxy fight it's difficult, right? We're not saying that it can't happen, but it's difficult because both sides are attempting to gain power. So that changes Disney from being a stock. Again, folks, no financial advice. We're complete idiots.
No.
Please don't listen to anything we say. Every one of us has an IQ sub 80, except for Lou. But it's very difficult for a stock to go down and be fully reactive to the results of the company when you have two sides battling to gain control of it, right? Everybody can understand why that would be, even though, again, we're complete idiots and have no understanding of this whatsoever. But just saying. Just putting that out there.
Like I said, there was an accumulation building up by somebody, and it wasn't Vanguard. It doesn't seem to be BlackRock. Somebody in the week or so up leading into
It's
this.
not cast members, I know that.
Quarterly.
Are they taking the stock to Mars? Is that what you're saying, Culture? Driving it to Mars?
I'm saying somebody who's been acquiring something and has not yet filed. Maybe they don't quite have 5% yet.
And it's not an insider, because insiders have to file within 2 business days after the change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Would it rhyme with Pelon?
I'm not going to say anything because at this point I'd be speculating. I'm just saying it was pretty evident that a mass amount of stock was going into one individual pot.
All right, let's enter into total rumor and speculation mode, folks. For this, okay, everything right here is rumor and speculation. Don't believe a word we say.
No.
Culture.
Yeah.
What size of stock transactions are we talking here? I mean, what did you see that made you go? If you can say, and you could just say, "Pro, I don't want to go there." How big are we talking?
There's a B behind it.
Well, that's big. Maybe that would explain why there is the rush to vote the white card. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if they're going to vote the white card. I don't know. They're probably. No.
I'm talking about this is why Disney keeps saying vote the white card.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, indeed. Like I said, I think they're terrified that there are people entering the market to vote on something that will remove their power. See, and here's the thing. Right now, the slate is only represented by the existing members of the board. That's on the white card. And then you have 2 members on the blue card, right? You have Rasulo and Peltz. And then you have the really weird, like minuscule thought process of the Blackwells folks with the green card. Is that right? So Disney doesn't want to be replaced. The question is, what if everybody decides that they are withholding their vote from the existing board and they just elect the two other people. Well, you have to retain a functional board, so then it becomes a popularity contest.
But there's more to it than that, and that is this: if you don't vote, or you don't vote for the full slate one way or another, the default goes to the white card.
To the white card, yeah. That's what I thought.
And not only on the board members, but on all these various resolutions.
Yeah.
Which some of them are pretty damn interesting about transparency and about compensation.
But that's not. But if you actually vote to withhold on candidates on the existing slate that the corporation prefers, does that trigger the same thing that it reverts back to the default?
I don't think there is a withhold. There is only a vote for somebody replacement. And if they don't get voted for at all, they are the default.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works, which obviates that we have to have a full board issue because it's whoever was still standing, But like I say, if people aren't voting or they're withholding, what they do on those propositions, which I call them propositions, they're called resolutions, I believe, but it's for people out there in the audience, it's similar to a proposition XYZ in your local election. Things about how they run the company, about how they handle compensation, about what they reveal to the world or don't that isn't required by law, but that they have done in the past. You ought to look into those, because if you leave those parts blank on your blue card, they're going to go the other way too.
All right, guys, I am getting word that we have breaking news. We don't do this on purpose. We don't do this to try to jazz up the audience and make everybody excited. We have some legitimate breaking news on this topic that was unplanned. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to bring up this effort, this desperate effort that they have to get everybody to vote for this white card. That is what the stock or what the board wants. Let's watch this, and then we're going to get to the breaking news immediately. But here we go.
I'm Bob Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Ahead of our upcoming annual meeting, I wanted to update you about the company's significant recent achievements and share why your vote this year is so important to Disney's future. It has been a busy and challenging time since I returned to the company, but we've made significant progress, and I'm enormously optimistic about our future. Over the past year, we've assembled a new team of experienced leaders, and we've created a much more efficient and highly effective company structure. The steps we've taken to propel Disney into a new era of growth are paying off, as evidenced by our recent earnings performance and the new growth initiatives underway to build our businesses. The team and I have a responsibility to ensure that Disney is one of the most admired companies in the world. This is one of our biggest priorities. We also want to return to a place where we're consistently delivering shareholder value. We've already taken steps in that direction by declaring a second higher dividend and by initiating a $3 billion stock buyback program. All of this takes a lot of work and a laser-like focus on the task at hand, which is why the major distractions we're facing from activist investors are exactly what we don't need. I'm urging you to vote for the Disney Board's recommended slate of nominees on the white proxy card, and not to vote for the nominees presented by these activist hedge funds. You have the power to make sure we are able to continue our momentum from the past year and ensure the success of the Walt Disney Company as the world's leading and most beloved entertainment company. The leadership team at our company is experienced and highly motivated. We're proud of what we've accomplished, we have a clear vision for the future, and we're optimistic about it. Our goals are to improve the quality of the films we produce, to transition ESPN into a preeminent digital sports platform, to turn streaming into a significant growth business with increased reach and strong margins, and to turbocharge growth in our experiences business. All of these goals are achievable. We've already made meaningful progress with each of them. The opportunities before us are very exciting. We know that we have the strategy, the talent, the resources, and the determination to be successful. Thank you for your continued support, and I urge you to vote on the white proxy card in support of Disney director nominees.
All right, let's go to the breaking news now. This out of Breitbart. Again, I know Breitbart is a political website. We're not into politics here, but Breitbart is covering this, and very few are beyond. So we've got to cover it. This breaking just a couple of hours ago, brought to my attention during the show, and lines up with what we've been discussing. So we'll get at it. Double checking real quick to make sure we're ready. Let's go. Disney hit with federal civil rights complaint over DEI, alleges discrimination against white men, Christians, and Jews. This by David Ng. The Walt Disney Company has been hit with a federal civil rights complaint alleging the company's DEI policies are unlawful and discriminate against white American men, Christians, and Jews. America First Legal filed the complaint against Disney on Wednesday. The group cited publicly available documents published on Disney's official sites, as well as leaked internal documents showing how executives have made diversity, equity, and inclusion a central part of Disney's hiring practices. Now, that particular paragraph makes me wonder if the Christopher Rufo leaked video was I don't want to say that it was coordinated, but folks, something along that lines. Don't know, doubt it, but curious. It is sad and tragic that a company whose name was once synonymous with wholesome and charming childhood fantasies is now dedicated to spreading divisive bigotry. We urge Disney to cease and desist its unlawful and destructive conduct at once, said Stephen Miller, president of America First Legal and former Trump administration official. At the heart of America First Legal's argument is that Disney has implemented a de facto quota in its hiring, which violates employee law. And going back again to how stupid it was for Disney to get into the Florida fight, remember that one of the reasons we know about quotas is because they were doing that through the local government, through Reedy Creek Improvement District. It was discovered that hiring vendors was done with a quota system. So that brought this out in a way that could not be avoided any longer. My, oh my, how stupid it was to fight in Florida. So that I think that's going to be prima facie kind of stuff. I don't think it's going to be something that has to be proven, adjudicated. I think it's just going to be there. These quotas are often disguised as diversity and inclusion policies, but in some cases, Disney has publicly listed actual percentages when it comes to hiring for its productions. Among the published quotas, remember that Elon Musk put this front and center in everybody's mind. Again, there's so much happening here, and you wonder which pieces are in conversation with other pieces. The goal that 50% of Disney TV series directors must come from underrepresented groups. And here it mentions down here below, again, folks, I'm reading this live because it was brought to my attention. The complaint also cites a leaked internal Disney document that was published by Elon Musk on X. Good job, Bob. Way to make Elon mad. This is going great for you. All right, let's talk. I want to go to Mr. Ghost first, simply because you have a tremendous understanding of how the industry works.
Wow.
This has been the way Hollywood has acted for years. Is that coming to an end, or is this a frivolous attempt that has no chance of success?
Farthest thing from frivolous. It will take time because obviously certain courts will shine it on, and it'll wind up in the Supremes. All that. There's so many instances. That article cites a couple. What about when they proudly said, we've received some, I know I harp on this, but it's important. We've received some of the best pilots and spec scripts for new shows for Disney Plus that we've ever seen, but we rejected them because they weren't woke enough, is what they said. And we've been getting entreaties from advertisers all over the place saying they'd like to advertise here, but we rejected them because we rejected that company because of their policies on this. They're not just doing it, they're proud of it. And somebody should have shown them this little scrap of paper somewhere in Washington called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all of those little things in the law and everything. Relate this back to the X-Men discussion we just had. If they're pushing for, golly, people should be represented regardless of their race or their sexual whatever, well, yeah, everywhere but Disney. As I said when this stirring, and I strongly wish people would read this part 3 of the D-Files that Film Threat did. These people back in the days, and these people, my people, in the 50s with the McCarthy era, it was we are against blacklists because they're unconstitutional and unfair and wrong. They are civil rights violations. Now we find out they're perfectly fine with them as long as they're running them. and it relates to Gina Carano, and it relates to everything else they've been doing. And Disney's not alone, but Disney is stupid enough to stand up on a soapbox and say, hey, look at us. Aren't we great for doing this?
Ron, in hindsight, and Lou, excellent points. Ron, from the theme park side of this, part of this can of worms has been opened by Disney having the books turned open as Sif Todd took over. Turns out that Reedy Creek, which was being operated apparently by the Walt Disney Company, despite the fact it's its own local government and should not be controlled or captured by any corporation, turns out that Reedy Creek was hiring based on racial quotas. I think that's probably even more illegal when the government does it.
And they were influencing nearby communities where they shared borders, and therefore both sides had to say yes. They used their selected subcontractors for the work based on those quotas.
It's a great point, Ron. How bad, how dumb was it of Disney now in hindsight to get into a tussle with the Sunshine State?
Oh God! Well, yeah, that was obviously ridiculous. I don't know if you remember there was a visual of this, and I think it was really funny because this is Florida, and I think that maybe people in California don't understand Florida very well. But during that period of time, do you remember the protests that took place in California? And there was actually protesters that came out on both sides in California about this, and they actually went to Burbank and went in front of the studio lot and everything. But
the Iger shadow campaign. They just those
really
folks didn't know he was going to fire them once he got back in as the Mouse Messiah.
But do you remember that there was one person? There was one person.
One person at the gate
at the Disney World side.
That's right.
In Florida.
That's right.
Only one with
and
a
that
sign.
was on the Disney Springs side, which is the least difficult place to go because you just walk up on the public sidewalk.
Right.
In other words, it's not even by the most iconic gate.
You walk up on the sidewalk after parking in those garages paid for with municipal bonds.
Good point. Yes.
But it was more than a mistake because they're losing. First of all, and you probably noticed that they've been losing along the way. This is where, and I talked to Tommy about this last night. I became such a big fan of Andrew of Legal Mindset. Now I can't talk too much about this myself because I was a cast member at that time, and so there's things that I might have to talk to you about privately later. So if you want,
yes, look forward to that.
Yeah, because I don't know how much I can put on here. Okay, without getting myself.
Understand, we don't want to get you in any kind of trouble, and it is a thing that we sometimes have to dance around quite a bit of stuff just because of the spiciness that some of this stuff can be.
It gets totally deep, and it's not good for the Disney company. The more that comes out, and it's hard. It's very difficult. Obviously, people like going to the parks. Realistically, nobody on any side of any issue wants any of this. It's just people want, and when it comes to parks, if I'm in New York, if I'm in Ohio, if I'm in Illinois, if I'm in Canada, if I'm in the UK, I just want to go to Disney and have a good time. That's all. But it has made its way in. It's the whole political discussion has made its way into the parks. Cast members are dealing with it. It makes everybody's job there more challenging because what do you say to guests when they bring it up? And they do. It never ever should have happened, and it's very difficult to walk it back. If I were in any type of executive position at Disney, and Bob had talked about quieting the noise. Quieting the noise would have been, he really should have just backed off and said, you know what, we're just going to drop all these lawsuits and let it be at that. And the few people who want to voice a different opinion about that, we'll let that.
Well, I've thought about that, Ron, and I've got a theory about why they did not just drop the lawsuits and take the loss, and I think that has to do with SEC filings. This is my thought, and again, folks, we get into these spicy territories, so we have to be careful. It's my suspicion, it's my thought that the reason that they could not just drop the lawsuits is because once they dropped the lawsuits, they would have adjusted the SEC filings to represent the damage that they had to have known was coming. And as long as they protest in the courts with appeals, I don't think they have to adjust the SEC filings. I think that's what it's about. And everything is about getting through April.
It's a wild situation.
Well,
and I think you had said that before, too,
I see Ghost and Culture both have thoughts on this. Let's go to them.
Yeah, well, the big contrast I always notice is this. Remember when Chapek finally, came out and started this with Florida? They said he originally didn't want to do it, but the employees insisted, and they were answering their employees' complaints to stand up for them. Guess what? Those guys down the street building that gorgeous new park, they draw from the same labor pool. They have the same employees. And for God's sakes, they're involved in MSNBC and CNBC and very, very political left. And what they told their employees was, go fish. We're in the theme park business, not in the politics business. How much wisdom did it take to say, this is not our fight. This is not our place. We sell good times, not political speeches.
But it was a proxy to get Iger back in place because in just 2 weeks, Bob Chapek was about to implement with Jeff Morrell an official policy at the corporation to moderate the company. They had to get him out of there. They used the Florida situation as the Trojan horse to kick out Bob Chapek and bring Bob Iger in. Culture, you had some thoughts as we get ready to go to Super Chats in just a moment.
You jumped right to them. The Morrell thing. It was exactly it was it. That was the point in time that the company had fully pivoted into their new religious subjugation, their religion of the woke, the pursuit of the cult. And they listen to everything that cult wants. And the problem is that is not the larger populace from which they draw their profits. I mean, Ron spoke eloquently. Everybody here has spoken eloquently about this. But you lost the best guy to play defense. You lost Morrell. Nobody understands that this is the guy that dragged BP through the worst PR crisis that they'd ever had. British Petroleum was in big trouble, and that spill was catastrophic, and it was the worst PR ever. And that dude did everything. He told him, "Look, you tell the truth. Mea culpa. Give more money than you're being asked for. Do all these things. It's going to rehab your image." And where's BP now? Well, they're making record profits, and nobody even talks about them anymore, except for me when I'm mentioning Jeff Morrell. And so they had a guy that could be the front man for the devil himself and make him have better PR. And maybe maybe Disney didn't want that.
Does anybody remember the total cost of BP, by the way?
$2 billion? No, it was more than that.
How much did Disney just lose on India?
Oh, I don't even know.
$10 billion.
We don't even know.
That's amazing to think that Disney, and it doesn't even make headlines, lost 5 times the BP oil spill in 4 years, and it doesn't even make a headline, and it doesn't even nudge the stock because of the proxy battle, in my estimation.
Yeah, actually, in total, over its entire history, BP has paid $29.2 billion in fines.
Cancel that, folks. Pro was out of his or ahead of his skis.
No. I went in total for their entire history. I'm not just
okay. So how about this then? That giant oil spill that kept everybody glued to their TVs and which had a major impact on wildlife was about double the cost of Disney losing the India deal in 4 years.
Yeah, technically, Deepwater Horizon was a $4.5 billion oopsie.
Right, and the oopsie that Disney didn't even make headlines outside of that Park Place and a few other channels.
By the way, this is why they are so. I mean, they hate Peltz anyway, but why they are so opposed to Rasulo getting involved, because he knows enough, because he was in charge of parks, that he's the guy who would go to the state, go to the other people and say, "Listen, let's make this right. I understand what happened. I want to make it right. We'll pay double. Let's just get it behind us because there's a new game in town." Exactly the way Morrell would have. He's the second coming of Morrell, and that's why they hate him so much.
Well, he's also the I guess Undertaker. He knows where most of the bodies are buried. If you know anything about that period of time at Disney, and Ron's laughing along with us. But if you know anything about that period of time, there were a lot of bodies buried. They were burying bodies regularly. They were burying costs. Their construction company
that's what's going on at Discovery Island.
You know what?
But I have to bury you now.
But it was, like I said, that was a period of time where there were things that were going to have to be left undisturbed for as long as possible, and now they're being disturbed. Anyway, it is.
The word is hubris. The word is hubris.
Hubris is correct, yeah. But anyway, I know we need to move on. We got a billion super
We
chats.
got a ton of super chats, and we don't want to make a single person feel left out. So, folks, after these messages, super chats.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Deep in the heart of the Walt Disney headquarters studios in Burbank.
The cartoon duck isn't working, Randy. We're gonna have to use your golden pipes to get the shareholders to like us better than Elon Musk and Nelson Peltz. Otherwise, they might vote in Trian and have us moderate the company. Go ahead, Randy. Do the Toy Story thing. Let's go.
You got a branded Bob. You got a branded Bob. Vote the white card, not the blue. Vote for Bob and he'll vote for you too. Only white cards to see things through. Oh, you got a branded Bob. Yeah, you got a branded Bob.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself.
All right, let's get to super chats, folks. Here we go. First up, we've got Anapo P. Smash that like button. Happy 60K, and we are so happy that you're out there and promoting as well. So kind to drop a member chat saying just that. Folks, we hope you have done that. Click that like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes here on this special edition at a special time. Although some of you remember when this show came on every Thursday at 5. All right, we've also got Olaf von S., who is one of the greatest wrenches on the planet. 4-2 says, Saw, they now call it DEIA. A for accessibility. Well, it's going to be like the alphabet, remember? It's every day, every month, they've got a new letter, so keep it coming. We'll
get another A and an R in there, it'll actually be closer to what it really is, you know?
The Grand
Might have to rearrange
diarrhea.
a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well played, Tom.
Like my
Ryan Waltz for 8 months. Congrats, pro. Thoughts on Ghostbusters back at USO. Well, for Ghostbusters, I don't know about what the rest of the panel is thinking, but this could be a good year for Ghostbusters as long as it's not too far in the same direction that we've been talking about for X-Men. I'm hopeful, but panel, what do you think?
I don't think Dan Aykroyd would let him.
I think there's going to be some stuff there that's going to remind you of things, hint at some stuff, but unfortunately, I mean,
think the prime is gone.
Yeah, I think we got a really good, final chapter in the last film, Afterlife, and I think that this may be a breach too far, but we'll see.
Let's see. Maybe Bill Murray has something in the tank. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful if it were the case? The world would be better if we could all go in and laugh like we did with the first one. How tremendous would that be? Heck, I'll take the second one. Ego's not so bad. That's the name of the guy, right?
A Cadillac that was the right vintage that they bought, that they're rebuilding as Ecto, whatever it was. The Ghostmobile. Ecto 1 that's going to be in the parade, apparently.
Well, I'll be there then. All right, Jacob Foxfire.
I liked Vigo the Carpathian, by the way.
Vigo, that's what his name was. Yes, yeah. I thought that. Listen, I don't have a problem with Ghostbusters 2 minus a few qualms. I think it's great. And listen, bring in a Rick Moranis cameo, and I am there. I'll buy 5 tickets for a Rick Moranis cameo. I know he's not doing much in Hollywood. Took a break to raise his kids, but I'll cheer him on. All right, here we go. Jacob Foxfire 4-5 says, speaking of Ariel. Got Princess Peach in her new game dressing up as a mermaid, plus a figure skater outfit that is reminding me a bit of Frozen. Yeah, Nintendo is coming for Disney. That is for sure. CC Karaoke, member for 10 months. How do deep sea inhabitants evolve to have dark skin? Well, they leave Deutschland waters and go to the Caribbean, and that's all that's needed. Justin Cincinnati.
I need to push back on that, but it's fine.
Please.
Yeah.
No, push back.
That's dumber than Jaws the Revenge.
That's not the way the sun works.
Well, it's not Deutschland, it's Denmark, and don't make that choice over there.
It wasn't
they hated my dear late friend Danny Kaye for singing Copenhagen instead of Hagen. Or the other way around. It's Copenhagen in Danish. Copenhagen is how the Germans said it when they occupied them.
Now, wait a minute. Lou, did you just drop a name Such as what Valerie Stewart did to me once upon a time when she said,
Oh, I
"Oh,
don't
well,
know.
Ella Fitzgerald was my babysitter." Did
No,
you just
Danny
say
and I
my
used
dear
to-
friend?
Danny and I used to cook together.
Oh, get out of here. We're moving on. We're done.
All
We're
right,
done. We're
anyway.
moving on. All right, Dustin
We used
Cincinnati.
to cater the O'Malley's box at Dodger Stadium with stuff.
We're
so
done
that
with
was-
you. You're done now. We got to move on. There's no way we can handle that. The audience out there, just everybody hit the floor. All right, Dustin Cincinnati for $2 says, I almost forgot. Congrats on 60K Pro. Well, Dustin, you were just right on time and you made our day. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We also have Onvec for 2. Hasbro. Dang it, Bob. We needed those toys to sell. And it's not lost on me that we did the reports on Hasbro. We did the reports on Disney merch way back in November, December that we were hearing they were not going to hit the numbers needed for retail for the holidays. And here we are with Hasbro. They're having to sell off Dungeons & Dragons and all of that sort of thing. So no surprise if you were watching this channel.
Man.
Folks, this is one of the first times that I get to take on Slade Wilson. I have not even read it yet because I am that confident that Slade would not sabotage me. I still haven't read it. I'm still not. Let's see how I do. Are we ready? Here we go.
Pronounce it like the Thai noodle soup is my tip.
Yeah, there is sabotage. Careful.
Slade Wilson, the returned man for 5. I find it hilarious that people thought Disney wouldn't poo-poo the X-Men with sandpaper, diddle-diddle-doos, and no slipification. If this is bad, wait till the movie drops. Culture, how did I do with slipification?
Slipification. First of all, that is a culture word. Well done. Slipification.
Slipification.
Jonas, take notes. Valiant Renegade for 100. What's that guy doing over here, slumming around this channel? I tell you, look at him. All right. Valiant for that's right. Valiant for 100. I don't know. Maybe Valiant. Have you reached out yet? Maybe you could play Gambit. You're authentic. You could do it. You could do it.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
All right, Valiant says, happy 60K. I wish I could have made it. Still in meetings today after being out nearly 2 weeks between Orlando and Mardi Gras break. Cheers. Well, cheers to you, Valiant Renegade, and really appreciate it. And to all of you out there, please remember that not only should you be watching the Valiant Renegade channel and Renegade Online on Sunday evenings, but Valiant is indeed the man who forced me onto YouTube. So to give a brief history for those of you who are new to the channel, and we've grown so fast, many don't know the story. We started that Park Place shortly after I left. Hang on, I'm not doing this on purpose. Pirates and Princesses. My tongue got tied there for a moment with the alliteration. So when I left Pirates and Princesses, we started that Park Place with a group of people who were investing in that idea. And that Park Place, we did a major reveal. I'm not going to tell you what reveal it was because, well, for reasons. We'll just leave it at that. But we did a major reveal, a major leak about the entertainment industry. And within 24 hours, the website was having horrific troubles. And we could not continue. Traffic dropped by 95%. And so we had some thoughts about why that was happening. That's one of the reasons I'm not saying what the story was that we told, and I'm not laying blame. But something happened significantly. Calls were made in my belief. And so Valiant was the one who said, Pro, even though you're so protective of your anonymity because it provides you with the ability to do sources and to write and all of this, you don't go to another website. Don't worry. We'll get that Park Place fixed. You have to go on YouTube. And I said, well, I'm happy to be on your channel. I don't know about this YouTube thing. And he said, you have to go on YouTube. And it was at that point, after consulting with some others, that we made the decision. Not only are we going to go on YouTube, but we're going to hit it at least 80 miles per hour, right? We're going to hit it with everything we've got, because if we're going to do it, by George, we're going to be successful.
21 gigawatts!
And of course, you all made it possible with your gigawatts. But Valiant Renegade is the man to blame. And that's why when we do the intro to the show, he's right up top with that blame put on him. And we only hope that he doesn't get another appearance on Gutfeld, because I'm not sure that he can handle it. But thank you so much, Valiant, for that exceedingly generous $100. And
he's going to arrange for you to go on Gutfeld with the beard.
Probably so. Yeah, we'll put the beard back on. It was not as glorious as Culture's, though, so I was shamed for it. All right, Retasaurus. Member for 6 months says, on a positive note, the new G&K trailer was great. All right, guys, help me out. What is G&K right now? The acronym isn't hitting me at the moment.
Godzilla X Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
GXK, got it. Oh, I hear that the breath is out. It's heating up around here. But how is it going to fare in comparison when people compare it to Godzilla -1? What do you guys think?
Stop it.
I won't do it. I would never do it. Not me. Not I, said the duck.
It will be compared poorly, but it will get a huge amount of box office from people who suddenly reawaken to the fact that there's a thing called Godzilla, thanks to Godzilla -1.
Well, I hope in that case that it's not the Doctor Strange effect. I hope that it's actually as good as the movie that sent people to go see it in the first place.
Now, were they
John Maynard
able to hire actual giant lizard actor because I don't want anybody culturally appropriating that character.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
we need that Embiggen Ray to hit a gorilla too. Okay,
that would work. That would work.
No, as we learned from the head of was it IBM? It doesn't count if you're Asian.
Oh boy!
Ouch! To all of our Asian friends out there, we feel for you. We feel for you.
We're eating pretty good as Godzilla fans right now. I think that's the way to look at it.
There you go.
Totally 100% agree. We have a fantastically kind membership gifting right now from John Maynor. By the way, a member spotlight video will be releasing tomorrow and more Genre Guys content on the way shortly.
Yes.
But 20 gifted memberships, that's fantastic. And folks, I think it's time we start to celebrate. Is that okay with everybody? Can we celebrate at least one more time? Let's go!
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby. You're the one who's out of this world.
What are those?
These are my Spider-Man pajamas.
Let me rephrase that. Why are you wearing those?
Because my He-Man pajamas are in the laundry.
That's right, folks. It's a great day for 60K, and John Maynard paving the way for so many of you out there to become members. Thank you, John. All right. Tremendous. Thank you so much. Slate is back for round 2 with Poor Pro. $10 on this one. Disney is the Borg of entertainment. They care nothing for profit, fan service, or canon. They simply find IPs that they can consume and infect the woke mind virus. They are NSTD from hell. I got a feeling that that STD is to be focused on, but I'm not sure what the N stands for. N? Was he trying to say NSTD from hell, or is there some sort of like superpowered STD with an acronym above it that I don't know about?
I'm sure it was just normal concerns.
It's non-binary, maybe.
I thought maybe there's like a necrosis sort of STD that like eats you in other regions. I don't even know.
I wouldn't go there.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
And John Maynard back again with 10 more memberships.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say. All I know is perhaps we'll have to climb the mountain together.
Perfect. Wahoo!
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro channel, thank you.
And God dang it, we mean it. All right, from Alex B31. I want Universal to show Zelda and give Disney 2 little birdies. $2 on that one for those 2 little birdies. Well, we think you might be getting more than just 2 little birdies when it comes to Universal Studios. John Thomas, Pro, I disagree for $5 that it's money on the Tiana Bell reskin. It's laziness, not caring, and no talent. They drove off all the real Imagineers. You have no idea how true. Well, maybe you do. You might be an Imagineer. But, Culture, I don't know if you saw this. We actually broke this out that apparently Tony Baxter left the project.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that,
you
contractually, Tony Baxter just said, no, I'm out. I'm done.
And
it
what
all
he
had to do
said,
with
He
Yes.
said people don't want to see Indiana Jones Tiana.
Yeah,
That's exactly right. They're not remaking the movie. They're
Yeah.
not remaking the
Oh.
movie. This is a totally original story, original soundtrack, redesigned characters. And whoever thought that was a good idea, boy, they missed the mark. They don't understand.
and then looking at the figure that you guys were describing, I went back and looked at it. It's the same platform for A1000. So yeah.
So did we get it, Culture? I mean, you're folks. Let me tell you, Culture is an animatronic fiend. The man is an aficionado. He knows what he's talking about. Culture, you think we got it right?
Yeah, you did.
Just check.
Domo arigato, Mr.
Yeah,
Roboto.
and not only that, I outside of the hand movements, it's basically the same thing. So yeah.
There you go. All right, well,
Mr. Roboto.
going to Dustin Sinsenig, and oh my gosh, 50 WDW Pro memberships, ladies and gentlemen. That is a $150 gift to the channel, but truly to all of you out there. So, for the 50 of you who are now enjoying membership, please say a huge thank you. And as a result, folks, we're going to play a video for you that some think it crosses the line. Some think it goes a little too far. I apologize. Sometimes Wilton is more trollish than he should be. We're going to play the full unedited clip from Wilton the Troll that we've never played before here on the channel in its full totality.
Hey everyone, I'm Wilton the Troll, and I got a really important PAF. I just feel it's important to take a moment to reflect on the current latest Star Wars movie. I mean, we haven't had a woman take the lead on any Star Wars projects whatsoever in Star Wars yet. And that's partly because other women who are leading Star Wars, they don't want to let that happen, which totally isn't stereotypical of women. Am I right, ladies?
You can see why
But
we haven't
here
played
we
this
are,
before. Get
with
ready.
director Charmin Abinadab Chinook or something. Anyway,
Yep,
she's a
it gets
woman
worse.
who's bringing a lot of weight to Star Wars because of her, pedigree. I mean, look at her. Her credits from Satara, Let Girls Dream, Three Bahadur, The Revenge of Baba Balam, Ladies First, A Journey of 1,000 Miles. They all have ties to Star Wars, and some of you guys are so ignorant you have had no idea that there's something thematic through all those things in Star Wars. People who haven't been properly represented and fanned. Lots and lots and lots of freaking sand. They hired her because she knows how to work with sand. That's what Star Wars is today, kids. It's sand. Planets. Some of you are dumb enough not to believe me. And yes, it's time for a woman to lead Star Wars. I mean, saying that has totally worked in every other sphere of life, especially politics. Come on, Hillary Clinton, you tell them that it's time for a woman to smash that patriarchy. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I think it's important for you to know that. Thank you.
So there you go. First time ever we've played that in its full totality.
I hate sand. It's coarse.
It's coarse.
Rough. Gets everywhere.
I know all the crevices.
The sand does, anyway. I
That's
kept
right,
thinking
yeah.
of Dune when I saw that.
Benjamin Loken for $5, 60,000 subs. Great Scott! I can't wait for the day that you get 1.21 million subscribers. I might as well use this text space. Dang it, Bob. Well, I think that's a little bit out there, but we're definitely aiming to be dominant, and so we'll continue moving forward, folks, with your help, of course. Impossible without you. Got to understand, impossible, totally without all of you. Benjamin Loken for $5. Okay, Bob, this definitely wasn't a test run for running a political ad. Talking about that vote the white card, and yes, it does look very much like a political ad out of Disney.
For a guy who spent his early days doing the web, he sure can't read cue cards convincingly, can he?
He struggles a bit.
Oh,
He struggles.
God.
All right, we've got another extreme case of generosity, this time out of Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, gifting 20 WDW Pro memberships. Folks, we apologize. We're running out of celebration clips, but we'll keep playing the greatest hits.
I'm single. Oh, you might want to struggle. I mean, trip in.
And see, kids, that's why we don't go watch Marvel movies. I told your parents not to take them. That Valkyrie, she's a creeper. You stay away from her now, you hear? And don't go to any more of those MCU movies, or else I won't even give you a sucker no more for it. They're dirty. They're dirty movies.
Thank you, Lester San Jose. So kind and greatly appreciated. Change your ways, beep to the bop to the boop for 5. Turbocharge. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. You killed my childhood. Prepare to retire. Anybody get the reference?
Everybody got the reference.
Princess Bride.
All right, Charge of the Comic number 2. Remember, for 9 months, woke is losing because we stopped giving attention. I think that needs to be brought to attention more, is that some of these legacy outlets, they don't get any attention unless we give it to them. Just saying. Slade Wilson, the returned man. Pro, congrats for $5 to you and the whole crew on 61K. Keep growing. Long live the rebellion. Get him, Gina. Oh, hi, Jonas. You're still gay. Poor Jonas. He's not even here to defend himself. That's Slade, uncalled for. All right, Dustin Sensenig with another 20 membership giftings. Oh, my God. You know what? Mike's not here, but this is a Mexican Iron Man commercial moment. Here we go, folks. Celebrating.
I thought that chicken tacos were better than the rest.
Are you ready for perfect, authentic Mexican cooking just like your mama used to make? Come on down to Mexican Iron Man's Rabbit Chicken Tacos and Lawn Care Services, where not only do you get the freshest in Mexican cuisine, but you also get a fresh cut lawn. And don't forget to check out our second location, wherever the police have not yet run the van away from.
Mexican Iron Man, rabbit chicken tacos, lawn care services.
And if you think the cilantro tastes very fresh, it's no accidente, amigo.
Did we hire a classically trained musician to sing the Mexican Iron Man theme song? Yes, we did. From Shrebbles for 10, a super sticker of greatness, as always, from Shrebbles. Thank you so much, Shrebbles. I only wish I could do Butters, but we're in such a rush. We'll have to save it for the Renegade Online show this Sunday. Thank you, though. From Odd Christian Wathne for 5 Norwegian krona. At nbim.no, you can see how the Norwegian Fund voted in Disney. They/we have 1.15% ownership. They voted against the board a few times. Should be more. Well, we need help from the Vikings, so let's all fjord together.
But didn't
take down
Disney
the
outsource the Shop Disney stuff to a Scandinavian firm?
I don't know the answer to that one.
I think so. So I think maybe they're trying to buy some votes up there. I don't know.
Well, the Scandinavian firm, yes, but at the same time, they outsource to other foreign countries.
I can't imagine which ones.
Me either.
Jeremiah Hembry for 5. Can we change spring time for a very bad man to springtime for bubbly boo?
I actually got that.
Yeah.
It's springtime for Iger in Kissimmee.
And then I followed with "Don't be stupid, be a schmarty, vote the blue card, end Bob's party."
It doesn't matter. It's a fake movie. If I'm doing a fake movie, it's going to be a fake hit.
I mean, I guess since everybody's doing songs, I did a Bob song.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what do you got? What's your Bob song, Tom?
Uh-oh.
Well, what kind of dumb shit did Bob say this week?
Next up, Bob Iger says something stupid. All right. George the Giant Slayer, 420. He never says something stupid. And George, we got to get you on the channel. Can you all believe, by the way, that we had a mix-up? George was invited to join us for the pre-earnings call, right? So the preview for the earnings call here on the channel. And somehow I don't think he received the link on time, and so he wasn't able to be here. We're going to get George on the channel soon, I hope. I was on George the Giant Slayer's show. And by the way, George, if you're listening, you actually inspired us to redo the intro here because you shamed us so badly after I saw how amazing your intro is. So just putting that out there. George the Giant Slayer for 20. Congratulations, my friend, on hitting 60K from 60 to 100. Always forwarded. Absolutely forward ho for all of us. Here we go. And George, I'm glad that you are now live streaming. You are a fantastic asset to the community. Change of ways, beep to the bop to the boop for 2. Lizzo could play Godzilla. We won't tell you, though, what changes with the atomic breath.
Oh, change of ways, beep bop boop. There was a meme going around today. They said Lizzo was going to do the halftime show at the Super Bowl, but they decided everybody would go home because they thought the fat lady sang and the game is over.
Orko for 20 Australian. Hi, everyone, and congrats. I have some movie codes I have for you to give away. Who do I email? There is the original 4K Snow White and the new 4K of The Fugitive. I love The Fugitive. Australia, I have to import discs now. Well, Orko, I would recommend that if you have any inquiries for the show, you can always email wdwpro@protonmail.com. You can also email Jonas J. Campbell at thatparkplace.com. So those are your places to email for the time being.
There's a budding new community that I think Pro is neglecting to mention.
Culture? What would that community be?
I think there's a forum or something. That
Park Place now has forums. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can go and you can sign up easily and participate in conversations with like-minded folks that enjoy quality entertainment and honest news.
That's right. Absolutely, folks. Go check it out. And we're going to have another big push when it comes to those forums real soon. You don't want to miss out. Mac, who, by the way, oh my gosh, you talk about a huge help when it comes to breaking the news and getting the scoops. Mac is a facilitator when it comes to so many channels. Mac is invaluably important. $2, 60K. Congrats on hitting 60K. Mac, thank you. You've been a part of it, and we appreciate you. Also, from Is This Live, another 20 memberships gifted out there. It's going to get to the point where everybody's a member. You know what? Roll it again.
There are times when you are faced with a question of is this alive or is it dead? When you cannot figure out what incarnation this critter might be. That's when you call Is This Live at 188-IS-THIS-LIVE. Don't pay attention to the number, folks. Just dial it. And we'll help you out figuring out, is that critter live or not? IsThisLive.com.
As a duly designated representative of the city, county, and state of New York, I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension. That ought to do it. Thanks very much, Ray.
All right. Wrapping down right now, folks, as we have just a few super chats left. Erica and Raph for $5. Congrats, Pro, on 60K. Sorry, I've been MIA, been visiting fam in Florida. Been a little chaotic. God bless you. Well, God bless you as well, Erica and Raph. And if you ever want to be in a member spotlight, we would love to have you. Greatly enjoyed sharing the panel with you in that Club 23 that we did. The very first of those for our VI Pro and Premium level members. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, 4-8. Lose Ghost had me at Lizzo joke. A great one.
Lester, I wish it was original, but like I say, it was just a meme that was floating through my Facebook feed today. But it's pretty funny.
Pretty funny indeed. Dusty Peltzer is a new member. And Dusty, I can't see what level you're at. Profound. Well, you will be voting on videos that we'll have in the future. We will be doing a video this weekend on Disney and gambling, which was voted on by members of the channel. So once you exit that lowest level membership and go up higher, you actually get to pick topics, vote on stuff for us to have here. And it's marvelous watching those videos do so well because our members are experts when it comes to entertainment. All right. Out of Jaffo for 5. Lizzo can't play Godzilla. She was hired by Disney so they could race swap the Death Star, DEI, in a galaxy far, far away. Yay! Can't wait to not care. Wow, fantastic. And we have another gift of utter generosity. You all have been too much today, but we do certainly appreciate it. Australian $14.99 from Dusty Peltzer. So kind, so generous. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been overwhelming, the goodness of each and every one of you out there. And because of that, we will forge forward attempting to reach, yes, the 100K mark by the end of the year. That is our goal, to reach 100K by December 31st. I think you all can help us do that, and you can do that by liking, sharing, subscribing, become a member, and be participatory as we continue to build a community. But even more importantly than that, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest gift is to see a tide that lifts all your friends at the same time. Get out there and subscribe to Ron E. Bradley. Follow the Bradleys. Get out there and subscribe to Culture Casino. You're all already subscribed to Midnight's Edge, and if you're not, you're missing out.
That way.
Of course, LW Ghost doing all that fantastic members content. Culture, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Actually, I'm getting ready to record a video in just a few moments, talk a little bit about something we covered as breaking news here. I had pulled that up before we got started. So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Iger situation and the federal interest that has just been filed. Civil rights claims are not a joke, folks. These are big time, and this is going to be a problem. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, go through the story in detail and all that, and then I do the weekly, during the weekdays anyway, do the 6-minute daily. I love it when everybody comes by and throws a like or a comment. Even if you catch it on the replay, let me know what number of you are. Just a quick comment. That's all it takes, and it really does help. And we're growing like a weed. We're on our way to 20K. I'm going to try to get, I'm already over 18. I'm going to try to get to 20K by the end of this month. I know that's aggressive, but I have a few more days left. I
got to get over there and get on your channel again. I have such a great time when I'm on with you, Culture. You are a hospitable ghost. And you do a fantastic job with your channel.
You get an extra day in February.
I do. We get one extra day, the 29th. But, you know, we actually have the most hospitable ghost with us.
What, Casper's here?
No, you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you and I and the That Park Place gang are going to do one of our late night crazies tomorrow.
That's right.
If you haven't seen our late night Rock Fest, you must on That Park Place tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's celebratory as well, because it is a 10K celebration on top of a turning on of the memberships for That Park Place.
Yeah,
that's right.
And by the way, John Trent assigned me to write a story for That Park Place, also on that civil rights suit. So I'll be doing that as soon as we're done here.
Oh, good. All right.
So that'll be up tomorrow on the site, I'm sure.
I'll chat it up.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ron, tell us what you've got going on at your channel. I think you especially are one of those that some folks over here need to fully discover. So what do you got coming up?
Yes. So obviously we do family vlogs, but I am now, if you look behind me, my wife has set up this beautiful studio. So I have more of an opportunity to do some videos, some reviews, some movie reviews, things like that, more into the pop culture of everything that is going on. And I can do that from my beautiful studio that we have here. Also, I've got some compare and contrast things. So I want guests that are going to Disney to know what they're getting into. So, for example, one of the things that I'm going to do is a compare and contrast of things like Moana's Journey of Water, day versus night, because it is a very different experience, day versus night. I took my kid at night. He had an absolute blast. During the day, it's like, what is this weird garden? It's different thing, it's really weird. The things that they put into Epcot, they're only good at night.
That's a good point.
If the lights work.
Yeah,
if only Epcot was mostly night instead of an hour or two that you get of the nightscape. But
I'm also going to do a breakdown of things like the merchandise that is not selling. I was in the store the other day. I am telling you, there is a plethora of Wish merchandise for all of the fans that feel like they're missing out on getting that merchandise.
I tell you. When is the dollar store opening? When's Ollie's opening in Epcot?
Oh my!
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, there's a ton of that that type of stuff, and of course we'll continue to cover SeaWorld. They've got a festival going on right now with some great music coming out there, so a lot of fun stuff coming up on the channel and escapades as they go on.
Tom, you still working with that Andre fellow?
Oh, he works me like a workhorse. Yes, indeed. But
Tom,
I'm actually late for Midnight's Edge After Dark here, but yeah.
What time are you guys going to be starting, Tom?
Now or soon.
starting with Midnight's Edge After Dark. Well, that's going to be tremendous, folks. We're going to be redirecting you to Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Ooh.
Let me make sure that I've got that correct right now. All right, well, as we get ready to say goodbye, folks, we, of course, always want you to stick around and enjoy the content that's on the way. Tom, I'm having a hard time finding your link. Have you got it up? Oh, there you are. Okay. I don't know why that didn't want to happen right away. All right, now we're ready, folks. We're ready to rocket you over auto-magically to the place you need to be, which is, of course, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Mead, they call it. Double-checking right now to make sure that we have everything. Nope, we do not. Here we go. One more super chat. This for 50. The forums on TPP aren't very friendly for setting up accounts. Tried and still have never gotten the change password so I can create an account. Yes, I've checked spam and trash. It's not happening. Well, Wilt, I hate that you had to spend $50 because that is something that we are looking at, and we anticipate we're going to re-roll those out. What happened was, to get very technical at the end of the show, what happened was that because the forums existed prior to this system coming into place where it sends out the emails, it got really confusified, and we're going to have to clear out some cache and do some other things that should get that fixed. But we'll have an announcement about re-rolling those out where they will be more friendly. Now, the good news is that we've activated most of the accounts, but it sounds like yours has still not received that activation somehow. So we'll go back and fix that. But thank you, Chris, for bringing that to our attention. And apologies again that you had to spend $50 to tell us, but we do appreciate that, and we see that as more of a vote of your support of the channel rather than spending it just so that we'll try to fix something for you, because we would hate for you to have to be like, bro, here's $300, fix your dang stuff. That would be a shame. And in Mac, as we head out for 10, congrats on 60K. In Mac, that is extremely kind. Thank you for being the gigawatts. Folks, we've got to wrap it up. We have to end because it's time for Midnight's Edge After Dark, and we shall not dance and step on the toes of those who have shows that we must go to right now. So, play it! It's the outro! The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint!
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say, as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.
And as we say goodbye, folks, usually that's the end. We had another super chat come in, a member chat for 2 months from Ann Ivy. Congrats on 60K. Love this channel. Folks, we send so much love back to you for how kind you all have been. And so we say goodbye to you in the best way we can. Enjoy Midnight's Edge After Dark. And thank you to all for being so good to us.